Welcome to Lecture 10, Console Input. This lecture is all about how we can read from the console. This means that whatever the user types into the console, we'll be able to take that and manipulate it and do things with it. Up to now, we've only been writing to the console, meaning that we just display our own text into the console. But if we want to see what the user's doing, we can read it in and manipulate it. Reading in from the console is actually really simple. We're going to use one function, and that's really it, called readLine. So it's console.readLine. Now, the interesting thing about readLine is that whatever is read in is always read in as a string. So any text from the console is always going to be written as a string. So let's go ahead and simply start off by asking the console a question. We're going to say console.writeLine. What is your name? Question mark. So we're going to ask the console what its name is. So if I ran this program right now, as you can see, it's saying, what is your name? But as soon as I type, the program closes. And that's because the program is not waiting for any input to come. So we need to tell it to wait, and we use console.readLine to do that. So I'm going to create a string because it's always read in as a string. So I'm going to say string name equals console.readLine. So readLine basically sits at the console and waits for someone to type something in and hit enter. It's waiting for that enter key to be clicked. Until then, it's not going to do anything. So once it's clicked, then the name variable will be holding whatever is typed in. Notice how I'm not doing anything with the name though. So how this program looks is, notice how that output saying click any key to continue is gone. So it just says, what is your name? Now I can type in Jesse. But the moment I hit enter, the program stops. And that's because I'm not doing anything with Jesse. So what I want to do is, I want to take Jesse and then print back to the console, hello Jesse. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to use the placeholder method using that name. So I'm going to say console.writeLine, hello placeholder, and I'm going to plug in the name when it was typed in. So I took whatever was typed in, I store that into the string using the readLine because readLine always reads in with a string, and then I just take it and manipulate it by adding some text in front of it. So now if I said it says what is your name, I'm going to type in Jesse. Now when I hit enter, it says hello Jesse. So I took whatever was read in, I store that into that name variable of type string, and I just take it and then I reprint it with adding hello to it. So hello Jesse. So now it feels like it's a computer basically. If we wanted to go a little bit further, we could ask the user to also enter in their last name, and then we can make the computer say hello first name and last name. So the way we could do that is we just have to add some more output. We have to say, what is your last name? And then I'll say string last name equals console.readLine. And now for this, I'm going to say hello placeholder space placeholder. So I'm going to plug in their name, their first name, and their last name. And now this can even be a little bit better program. So what is your name? I should have said first name, but I'll say Jesse. What is your last name? I'll say Bob. Hello, Jesse, Bob. So it combined the two inputs that I got, and it printed them together. So you can see how easy it is to make a simple program for reading in information and just printing it out, changing it a little bit. So this is pretty cool. Now, I want to get to a little bit harder topic, and that is, well, what if I want to deal with numbers, and I want to be able to maybe make a simple calculator, that's what we're actually going to do in the first exercise. But what if I want to be able to read in as a number? Because right now everything's being written as a string. So the way I can do that is I just have to, it's called parse the string. So basically, parsing is converting a string into some kind of numeric value. That's what parse means. So how we do it is, let's comment this out. So that means now the computer is going to ignore that for now. So let's ask the user to enter in a number. So I'm going to say enter a number. So I know I want it as an integer. So I'm going to create int number. But if I go int number equals console.readLine, I'm going to have a problem because readLine reads in as a string. So we need some way to basically convert this console.readLine, which is a string, into an integer so that I can now store the number as an integer. And like I said, the way we do that is by parsing it. So int and double and all the types of numeric data have a parse function built into it. So I can just say int.parse, and then I just put the parentheses for the parse around the console.readLine. That's basically saying parse whatever is inside its parentheses. So I'm parsing the read line. So convert this read line from a string into an integer. So now this gets it as an integer, and then it assigns that to the number variable. That's what the assignment operator says. It says take whatever's on the right-hand side and assign it to whatever's on the left-hand side. So number equals the parsed or the converted string. So now I have this number. So I just want to add maybe 10 to that number and then just reprint that number with 10 added to it. So I'm going to say number plus equal 10. Remember, this is the shorthand for saying number equals number plus 10. So you can do either one of these. Once I added 10, now I'm going to reprint. I'm going to say the new number is, I'm going to plug in number. So I just updated 10. I updated by 10. So if I run this, it says enter a number 5, and it says the new number is 15. So as you can see, basically I just wanted to show that I read in whatever was typed in as an integer, and then I could manipulate it. I could add numbers to it. I could, in this case, I added 10 to it, and then I reprinted it. So in order to be able to manipulate the numbers and do things like that, you have to convert it from a string into an integer, because we only can add and stuff with integers. We can't add strings, because when you add strings, you know what happens? It concatenates and just combines them together rather than actually doing arithmetic. So that is the basics of reading in from the console as both a string and some other numeric type, in this case an integer. Up next is going to be 3 exercises with the solution files and the solution video.